What's going on, everyone? Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Toronto Blue Jays. There's a few topics I want to go over in today's video. I want to talk about Jose Ramirez and the potential interest the Toronto Blue Jays have in trading for him. Of course, he's a member of the Cleveland Guardians, as well as I want to talk about a couple of outfield left-handed hitters that the Blue Jays are rumored to be interested in on the back end of free agency that they might have interest in. That's Brett Gardner and that's Michael Conforto. Two guys, both from New York, one from the Yankees, one from the Mets. Of course, we all know Brett Gardner, how good of a hitter he is, especially against the Toronto Blue Jays in his career. He's been a Jay killer, to say the least. But Brett Gardner and Conforto would be, definite help on the left side of the plate, as well as Jose Ramirez, who's also a left-handed hitter. So it looks like the Blue Jays are going to add probably one more left-handed bat into the lineup. Whether that's for the bench, for depth purposes, or, a guy who can, kind of share 50-50 role with someone, or a guy who can come in right away like Jose Ramirez and be a day one starter. Let's first talk about Jose Ramirez, who the Jays have been rumored in on him for quite a while. So it's definitely interesting on the Jose Ramirez front. But Carlos Baegra, who on Twitter, he came out before Matt Chapman was traded to the Jays. He said Matt Chapman is going to be on the Blue Jays. He had all this rumor and all that. And then shortly after that, he came out and said the Blue Jays are very interested in Jose Ramirez. And then Ken Rosenthal, a very, very reliable source, came out and confirmed that. And it sounds like, according to Carlos Baegra, that he thinks the Jays are going to actually land Jose Ramirez. Now, what will that take is the question. And, of course, Mark Shapiro, who, and Ross Atkins, they have ties to the Cleveland Guardians organization. They've been with them in the past, so there's no reason to think that they won't strike a deal if the right deal presents itself. It sounds like the Blue Jays are still looking to improve the roster, even though it is right now looking like one of the better teams in all of baseball. You take a look at what we currently have on paper, and you start off at the catcher spot. You have Alejandro Kirk, Danny Jansen, and Reese McGuire. You can use any of the three. They're both very capable players. And then in the system, you got Gabe Moreno, who's one of the best, not only the best catcher prospects in the game, but he's one of the most, highly talked about, highly thought about, and best prospects in all of baseball. So apparently he might even have a shot to come up this summer. I think that might be too soon. I think a more realistic thing for him is 2023, but who knows? But that's the Jays' catcher current situation. And then taking a look at the infield, the Jays are just stacked anywhere you look. You go to third base, they got Matt Chapman, who is one of the better players, better third baseman in all baseball. You got one of the best young shortstops in the game, Bo Bichette. You got Kevin Biggio at second base, and then you got Vladdy at first. You take a look at third, short, and first. Those spots aren't being touched. There's no question. Those are solidified. That's set in stone. That's what it's going to be on opening day. Kevin Biggio is up in the air, but he is a guy who's definitely very, very good. And once he comes back to the form he once was playing at before his injury, he's a guy who could definitely play. He's had a good start to spring training, and yeah, I get that it's spring training, but he's still super young. He's 26 years of age. They avoided arbitration yesterday. So Cam Biggio, he didn't really play much in 2021. He only appeared in 79 games, but he was kind of slow. But you take a look at his stats from 2020, he was good. 2019, he was all right. But Cam Biggio overall is a guy I think he can bat 250. He can hit 15, 20 home runs. He can drive in 50. And he's a pretty good utility-wise. He could play a few different spots, and of course, he is a left-handed hitter, which the Jays very well very much need in the lineup. So that's how the infield looks. And if they bring in Jose Ramirez, he would play second base. He would probably, be traded for some sort of package like a Kevin Biggio plus a Jordan Groshans, who is one of, another top prospect of the Jays. I don't think the Jays trade Orelvis Martinez or Gabe Moreno, but who knows? Maybe they do. But I think if the Jays ultimately got a Jose Ramirez, it would be for a guy like a Cam Biggio, Randall Grichuk, Jordan Groshans, and another B-level prospect, that type of thing. But I think Jose Ramirez is definitely a very possible guy that the Jays could trade for. And he's 29 years of age. He's going to be 30, not till the end of the season. But ultimately, do I think they're going to end up getting Ramirez? I don't. I think the Guardians are going to be asking for a little bit too much a little bit too much more than the Jays are willing to spend. And hey, if the Jays go into the season with Cam Biggio as a second baseman, as a starter, there's nothing wrong with that. You still got Santiago Espinal, who's a very, very good infield utility man. He can play really anywhere. So the Jays have lots of flexibility there. And if Cam Biggio is the second baseman starter on opening day, I have absolutely no problem with that. But over the course of Jose Ramirez's career, he's a 278 hitter. He hit 266 last year and 292 the year before that. So he would obviously be a slam dunk for the Jays, although I think it is just a little bit out of reach for the Jays just because of how much the Guardians are going to be wanting to get for him. So I just think the Jays don't make a move on Ramirez. That being said, I do think the Blue Jays land one of Brett Gardner or Michael Conforto. You take a look at how the Blue Jays line up in the outfield. They have four guys who are absolutely, they could start. Absolutely no question about it. They have, in left field, you have Lourdes Gurriel. In center field, you have Randall Grichuk and George Springer. Springer is a guy who I think you kind of got to ease into things because of the injury history with him. Maybe he gets a lot of DH time coming out. Who knows? But then in right field, you have one of the better hitters in all baseball, and that's Teoscar Hernandez. And when you look at Michael Conforto and Brett Gardner and what the two bring to the table, they're both very flexible guys in the outfield. They could play, they could play a lot of positions in that outfield. So that would bring some nice flexibility to the Jays, and they're both left-handed hitters, which is something the Jays are really looking for. Let's take a look at Michael Conforto's stats. He's a career 255 hitter, so that's pretty good. But he had one All-Star season in 2017 where he had 280. He had 27 home runs, 68 RBIs. He had another good season in 2018, 2019. He took a little bit of a step back once COVID hit in 2020 and 2021. 2020 he was really good, actually. Other than the home run department, he kind of took a step off from that, but he hit 322. So there's no question he can hit. This season, I think if he ends up on the Jays, he could hit anywhere from 260 to 270. He can hit 20 home runs for you. He could drive in 70 runs. He's definitely a very, very good hitter for the Jays. He's been a good hitter for the Mets that could really bring a lot for the Blue Jays. As for what he would cost, I don't really know. But being that the MLB is not a salary cap league, the Jays seem like they want to spend, so I don't think there's an issue there. And getting him on a 3 or 4 year deal, I think, would be something that both sides would really like. And being that Cam Biggio is the only left-handed bat the Blue Jays are scheduled to have playing on a daily basis, I think that ultimately Brett Gardner or Michael Conforto will be a Blue Jay within the next week or so, if I had to guess. And I don't know which one it's going to be, but that would give you, if they land one of them, that would give you 5 absolutely, capable players, everyday players. It gives you depth in case there's injuries. You obviously need a DH, so, Grichuk, Conforto duo there could kind of really work out. You would always kind of have one outfielder most likely sit on a daily basis. Maybe they trade Grichuk for a bullpen arm, but who knows. Overall, though, I think the Blue Jays are doing some really good things here over the course of free agency, and I think they've done a really nice job. Let's take a look quickly at Brett Gardner. His stats: he's 38 years of age. He's getting up there in age. He's a one-time All-Star. He won a World Series. He's got a Gold Glove under his belt. He's been a long-time Yankee. He's been there, obviously for a very long time. And like I said earlier in the video, he's been a Blue Jay killer. He was drafted by the Yankees in the 3rd round of the 2005 MLB draft. That's where he spent the entirety of his career. He's been a very, very good hitter for the Yankees. He's been a very good outfielder for the Yankees. He's just been an all-around fantastic player. In 2021, he's obviously up there in age, so he's not himself. But in 2021, he had 10 home runs. He hit 222. He drove him 40 runs, on-base percentage of 33%. So, obviously, of the two guys, who would you rather want as a Jay fan? Well, it's obviously Michael Conforto. You take a look at his age. He's 29 years of age. If you're getting Brett Gardner, it would more than likely be on a one-year deal, and that doesn't leave you long-term stability. Whereas if you're getting a guy like Michael Conforto, he's probably signing for a 3, 4, 5-year deal, and he brings some flexibility and long-term stability to the team. But overall, I think whoever the Jays land, it's going to be a nice little pickup. But ultimately, I think either Brett Gardner or Michael Conforto will be a Blue Jay in the next week or so. I don't see a Jose Ramirez trade, at least not right now. Maybe mid-season, near the trade deadline, they decide to do something when Cleveland, was out of playoff contention, which more than likely by the trade deadline they will be. But like I said, overall, I think the Blue Jays are going to end up going into the season with a lineup of Vladdy at first base, of course. Well, we'll start off at catcher. Any one of Kirk, McGuire, as well as Danny Jansen as the catcher, and you obviously have those three guys kind of rotate, so that's good. You obviously get some flexibility there. And then Vladdy at first base, Biggio at second base, Bichette at shortstop, Matt Chapman at third base. Those are your everyday stars, and then you got Santiago Espinal that he can be a utility guy that he plays when players need days off. And then in the outfield, you got Gurriel's your everyday left fielder, and then likely Springer So if they get Conforto or Gardner, it becomes Gurriel and Conforto / Gardner as your everyday kind of in and out guys. You would obviously have Gurriel playing more, and then you'd have Springer and Grichuk in center field, and then in right field you have Teo, and then of course you would need a DH. So that would obviously be an ideal situation for the Toronto Blue Jays. Ultimately, though, guys, the Jays are heading in a very good direction. They seem to have everything figured out here. It's going to be an exciting season. They're building up some good depth. They're going to have one of the best hit lineups in baseball, one of the best rotations in baseball. They're going to have one or two very capable starters on their bench role, and it's going to give some flexibility for guys like Springer, who could need some days off. And really, when your stars need days off and you got some solid everyday players coming in for them, that you're a good baseball team. So that's obviously very good news for the Toronto Blue Jays. But guys, that's all I got in this video. You guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the rumors of Jose Ramirez, Michael Conforto, as well as Brett Gardner. You let me know in the comment section down below. Who do you think the Jays will land? Like I said, I don't see Jose Ramirez happening, at least right now. I think it'll be Michael Conforto or Brett Gardner. I have a feeling one of the two will be a member of the Blue Jays, but you guys let me know all that good stuff down below in the comment section. And as always, please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys new. See you guys all in the next video. Let's go Blue Jays.